Hello, welcome. My name is Hannah. I am Hannah L. Harris Art here on YouTube, and also Hannah L. Harris Art on Instagram as well. If you want to go over to Instagram, I am doing far better on YouTube as far as subscribers go than I am on Instagram. So if you want to go over and follow me on Instagram, please do. And Instagram's slightly different for me. I share slightly different content over there, just different things. So yeah, it's probably, almost definitely worth you going over there to follow me if you're interested in what I'm offering. And I really, really appreciate everyone being here. I'm now, as of so what are we today? The 7th of December. I'm now over 300 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely and completely wild to me because I've only been doing this for about nearly 8 weeks, nearly 2 months. 2 months on the 17th of December it will be. So I'm absolutely blown away. Thank you so much for being here and subscribing, and I really appreciate you. So this video, I'm going to give you a little studio tour. So my little tiny studio, I'm actually moving into a new studio soon. So I'll give you a tiny little tour of this, and it is literally tiny. I'm literally sat here and I'm just going to spin you all the way around and talk through my studio with you. And then I'm going to go on to actually do some collage papers, to make some collage papers with some wet strength tissue paper. But you don't have to use wet strength tissue paper. You can use whatever tissue paper you have, whatever paper you have. In fact, I use paper bags all the time, recycling, like receipts, things like that. You can paint on all these things and then use them for collage papers. It's a lot of fun, so please do join me for that. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to show you my tiny studio. Soon I'm going to be moving into another room in my house, which is going to be bigger, but I wanted to document the little studio that I've been in. Oh, there's my cat, look, can you see him in the garden having a wee? I think nice. So it's got this lovely window in it. The window's broken. My husband's put a sign on it saying don't open it. I love my plants. I've got a lovely, don't ask me what that plant is called, but I got it from a car boot sale and it's just absolutely bloomed. I love it. And my mum made me this macrame hangy thing, and you can also see some of my work up there. So I've got this big pin board in front of me. Oh, there's me in the mirror. With a lot of my work on it. There's my little reminder to myself, stop trying to be good. Some colour studies that I've done, some embroidery as well. I love to knit socks. There's a sock up there that I designed. Right in the corner there you can see the pansies on the canvas, and that's a painting that my grandmother did. So I keep that up there to remind me that she was an artist, and she started late as well. She was wonderful. This is an open painting that I'm doing for my class. It's on the back of the door. Look, this is how small the room is. It's on the back of the door. I'm doing an open painting for the course that I'm doing with Louise Fletcher, Find My Joy. And then I have here my altar. So here is me and my beautiful family there. My candle that says where the magic happens, some items, feathers and stones and shells and things that I have collected, a pumpkin that I grew, some washi tape there. And then we come down to my desk, and I've got all my grubby paints there, some of my paint collection, inks, stencils, my palette there. This is all, or a lot of it is collage papers. Here, this is a painting that I've actually sold, so that is going to be going off to its new owner. I have a few bits up here that I love, very expressive. And then we come into my shelves. So the shelving units go all the way up there. Which is lovely. I think this was at one point like a tiny library. And then I'm just literally sitting on my one chair in the middle. And then I've also got more paints here. I've got some yarn up there, some of which I spun myself. Do you want to be on the camera? My daughter's hiding. I think she's in her pyjamas. and it goes all the way up to the ceiling and then all the way down. And this is where I put my sketchbooks when they're drying. So I kind of lay them all out on the shelves and then I can work on them one at a time. Some paintings here. These are actually going to be for sale, so look out for those. And a load of books. And yeah, I think that's it really. So I just wanted to show you that before I start. Okay. So I have slightly improved my lighting situation, so I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see me. And I just wanted to show you some of the things that you can use for collage paper that I have used really successfully for collage paper. So this is grease-proof paper from the kitchen. And this is acrylic paint that I've put onto it, oil pastel that I've put onto it. I think that's all that's on here. Or maybe a bit of ink as well. Has gone on here, acrylic ink. So yeah, you can see just how, like, what a fun surface this is to stick onto something else. And when you stick it, when you glue it down, it ripples, so you get this really nice kind of effect when you put paint over the top of it. So similar, not the same as exactly, but similar to this. Do you see how I've stuck collage paper there and then I've put paint over the top, and you're just getting this really nice, they're almost like veins, ripples, kind of organic marks. So that is the kind of effect that you're going to get. So this is greaseproof paper, just kitchen greaseproof paper from supermarket. Okay, here is a paper bag. I'm going to cover that up because that's someone's address that's on the paper bag, or return address because that's on the paper bag. So here I've used something to print on here with, and then this is bubble wrap and little marks with acrylic paint. And this is just a paper bag that is from a package, so you can see I could rip it up even more. So paper that is used for packaging is really, really good for collage as well. This is one of my ones that I've done from my silicone palette. But this is newsprint paper, and you can buy newsprint paper, but this one I think just came from a package because I haven't bought any. So this is newsprint, and you can just buy it online. You could also use newspaper actually with the newsprint on it. What else do I have? Okay, so here, this came out of a book that my daughter got rid of. She was decluttering her room, and so this is like one of her journals, and she's drawn some pictures in it and written some words, and I have painted over the top. I think this is actually a jelly print over the top. And as you can see, I've used it for collage already, so I've kind of ripped bits out of it. But this is another option. So this is paper. It's quite thick. You might not want that for your collage paper. I don't always want it for the collage paper. Another really good thing you can use is, let me see. Here we go. This is the one I'm using at the moment, is vintage book. So we can do some of that today, actually. So this is a vintage book. I just got it from a charity shop or something like that. Oh, there you go. It was £1. That's how much I paid for that. So we'll use some of that. And here I've got wet strength tissue paper. And this is from Carnival Papers. So I bought this directly from Carnival Papers. And I can definitely link their website below. They're in the UK, and it was by far cheaper to get the wet strength tissue paper on Carnival Papers than it was to get it other places. You can also buy it on eBay and places like that. And the cheapest place was to get it directly from the website. And I got loads, 60 sheets. And these are really big sheets, so they're absolutely huge. So I'm going to cut this right down. I think this is probably, so if that's A3, A2, it might be A2, I don't know, something like that. A1 or A2, that sort of size. So I'm going to cut them. I'm not going to be too fussy about where I cut them. And I'm gonna cut them into 4. So there we are. And I'm gonna put most of it aside. I'm gonna have one sheet there. Okay. And going to use quite a flowy brush. So this is a new brush that I got in a set that I think my mum or my brother got it for me for my birthday. Might have been my mum. Just a set. And I don't use massively expensive brushes. And you can get quite good, you know, quite decent brushes that are not really that expensive. So I've got my papers here. And I'm going to move my palette onto the white sheet so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to start with something a little bit more subtle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint some botanicals, actually. That's what I decided I was going to do. So this is a spring green. It's an Art Studio Premium. I got this from someone who was selling a load of paint on Vinted. So I don't know where it can. I don't know what shop you can get it in. But you can use any acrylic. And also, like, there's this myth about how much water you can mix with acrylic. And I just don't buy into it. I think you can just mix as much water as you want with acrylic, to be honest. And make it as... So I want this to be quite flowy. A little bit almost like watercolour. And so one of my very first loves in... painting, the first thing I ever learned to paint was leaves, and I love painting leaves so much. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint some leaves on here. And I absolutely love botanicals, as I've just showed you in my little tour I did of my studio. Oh, got an itchy nose. So there we are. I'm going to do another one. Oh, the paint's picking up, which I love that look. Can you see that? The paint that I'm using is picking up something dark off the palette. So it's slightly different. I might do it just over the top. Slightly darker colour, that leaf, and I love that. There we are. So I'm going to just leave that there for now. Oh, hang on, I'm going to alter that and make it slightly more leaf shaped. There we are. So I've done a few leaves on there. And I think that's going to make lovely collage paper. I'm going to do one more on here. And I might go with, yes, I'm going to mix it in with the green that I've already done. But I'm going to use a orange. Hang on, I've lost the brush now. There it is. So the green will just naturally slightly mute the orange, so slightly make it a little bit duller, which is fine. And then this time I'm going to make a stalk first, or the branch first, and then I'm gonna there we are. And then try and fill the paper, and you could add more detail if you wanted to. So that's the second one that I've done. And then with this, I'm going to add, so I got these off Vinted. So I've got some processed magenta in System 3 acrylic. So these are luckily a paint that we can, oh sorry, the orange that I used was also System 3 acrylic. And these are really good, bold, opaque colours. I've lost the brush that I'm using again. There it is. And what I thought I'd do with some of this is so now I'm on the wet strength tissue paper, and I'm going to go on the matte side just because I prefer it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting some leaves. And I'm going to go all the way across here, and then I'm going to do something different on the bottom bit of the paper. So I really love to use, so the bottom bit of the paper, I'm going to do something that's completely different. And you can use watercolour on this paper as well. Only issue with watercolour, potentially, is that it's activated by water. So when you stick it, if you're going to glue the collage paper onto somewhere, which of course that's the point of it, although you can do whatever you want with it, then the watercolour will run, but it doesn't matter. Depends what sort of look you're going for. The point is this is just all experimentation. Even when I'm on here and I've planned to make a video, everything that I'm doing in front of you is experimentation, 100%. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my palette out of the way, and I'm going to get my messy ink out. So that paint that's left on there, I hate to waste paint, so that paint that's left on there, I will definitely use it in something else. Now I'd rather not get ink on this nice clean white bit, so I'm going to move that because it's really good for filming things that are a little bit more clean. So this is a cheap acrylic ink. I've put it in the Daylight Roni bottle. So I've got a stick that I love. So this is a stick from my garden that I love to paint with. And I'm going to do two different things with the ink. Actually, I might use two different colours. So I'm going to start with the black. And with the black ink, I'm going to draw, or try to draw. I feel like I should have shaken the bottle a little bit maybe before I started. That will inevitably make it leak out everywhere if I shake it, because the lid doesn't go on properly anymore. Okay. Let's have another go. That's a bit better. So I'm just doing some scratches and some scribbles, and I can use the side of the stick. So this is going to be a really fun collage paper that's going to show through. And you see, I do this in some of my work. Okay, so have a look at this. Has got this ink the kind of ink scrape, the ink pattern on it, which I love, because I always think it looks like branches. Here in the UK, it's cold right now. There's no leaves on the tree, so you can see all these kind of twigs and sticks sticking up in the air, and this is what is kind of inspired that in my work. So that's that, and then I'm going to change colour. See there, like I've dripped it everywhere. I'm going to change colour, put that over there, mop that up with a cloth, a dirty cloth. Okay, and then I'm going to use this, which is, this is the Daleroni one, and this is burnt umber. So let me just peel that up, because this is wet strength, but it still leaks through. Okay. And then I'm going to use the dropper. And I've sucked a little bit up the dropper, and I'm just using it. I'm just squeezing it like really, really gently. And again, I'm creating kind of a botanical stick type feel, some kind of organic shapes there. And you can see how different it is to the black, but also how organic and full of life it is. And that's what I try to get into my work, is things that feel full of life, that feel like they've got some kind of energy behind them. And I'm going to bring back in these just to finish. So all of these I'm going to rip up and use for collage paper. And what I'll do is I'll do another video later on to show you how I've used these papers. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Sending all my love, and I'll see you soon.